Are we doing it?
We're doing it.
We're doing it.
Here.
Okay, cool.
Hello.
Hello, everybody.
Everyone.
Hi.
What's up, chat?
What's up, my friends?
What's poppin'?
What's poppin'? Welcome to our panel. It's called Anybody Can Be a VTuber, and it's a panel by me, Uxieu, BungoTaiga, Leaflit, and Buffpup. VStreamers, also known as VTubers or virtual content creators, are people that use avatars with motion tracking to create personas. Some VTubers that you may know of are Kizuna Ai, Kaguya Luna, or even Barbie. We have a little video that is not going to work for stream, so we're just going to skip over it. So we'll start by introducing ourselves from left to right. So I'm Uxieu. I'm a Twitch partner. I do variety streams. I play games. I do art. I also do dance and circus on the side. And yeah, I started streaming 2 years ago because I wanted to be an anime girl.
Hello, I'm Buffpup. I'm a pup who is buff. And I'm a Twitch and Discord partner. I'm also a freelance illustrator and a super content creator for a video game called Super Animal Royale. It's heck and fun. You should play it. And I have also participated in multiple charity events. And I've been streaming for about 2.5 years or so, and it's been great.
Hello. My name is BungoTaiga. You can call me Taiga. I am a virtual streamer, also on Twitch. I play the persona of a cute snow angel. I've been streaming for 6 months, and I've gotten partnered in that time. And I like to stream lots of horror games and RPGs and all that fun stuff.
Guys, I am Leaflit Mitsuha. Hello. I've been streaming for 10 years. I started taking it seriously for about 6 months now. I am a slime VTuber and Twitch partner, and I host a late-night style interview show that features VTubers and anime and game-related guests. I'm also a game designer, and I've worked previously on games that you might know, like League of Legends. I've designed characters like Lux Crown Guard.
All right, so we're going to go ahead and start with the different ways that you can be a VTuber, starting with 3D. So VTubers either use a 3D model or a 2D model. Me and Taiga are using 3D models, while Buffpup and Leaflet are using 2D models. So what is a 3D model? A 3D model is like a mathematical representation of an object in a software. So you've probably seen 3D models and not even known you've seen 3D models. They're used in games, commercials, movies, shows, all that fun stuff. So some games that you may have seen 3D models in are Portal, Bioshock, and Genshin Impact. Those are all 3D games that use 3D models. And they're also used in television and movies such as Toy Story, Monsters vs. Aliens, and Jimmy Neutron. And so why should you use a 3D model? So 3D models are super versatile. You can put them in a ton of different softwares and use a ton of different hardware with them. They're very flexible, very versatile. They're easily editable within 3D modeling softwares such as Blender, Maya, all that kind of stuff. And so it's good for adding new things. Like if you want to add new clothes or facial expressions or anything else you wanted, you can just plop it in a 3D modeling software and do it. It also has a wide range of movement possibilities. And so 3D models can like throw their hands up in the air and spin around and all that fun stuff. Where live 2D models usually cannot. So how to get a 3D model? There are 3 options that you can choose from. All of them are great. One thing to keep in mind, though, is that you want to know what rights you have for 3D models. So you want to make sure that you're not taking somebody else's art or using art from somebody that doesn't want their art used, such as TDA models. TDA models are not permitted to be used with editing or anything else like that, or for monetary gain. They're often used in MMD, also known as Miku Miku Dance. So stay away from TDE models, even though they're very popular. So one great option that you have is to commission a 3D model. There are lots of great artists out there on Twitter, Fiverr, DeviantArt, all that kind of stuff that would be more than happy to take your character and turn it into a 3D model. These do tend to be pretty pricey though, anywhere from like $300 upwards of $5,000. But it is probably the most high quality. You get your character the way that you want it. You can also purchase a pre-made 3D model. Websites like booth.pm have great 3D models that are pre-made and ready to use for the software that you want to use your 3D model in. Just make sure to read descriptions and know what you can and cannot use a 3D model for. These models can be, they can cost money or they can be totally free. You just have to look around. And then the last option is just make one yourself. There are great options and resources out there on the internet, on YouTube, just like Googling. That's how I learned the 3D model as well. So one great option for creating a 3D model yourself is VRID Studio. VRID Studio is a software for 3D modeling, but it's meant for people who really don't know how to 3D model. It's very easy to use, easier than Blender. It's meant for VTubers. They advertise it as you can make your character and then you can put it in your VR/AR space, however you want. The models come pre-rigged and with physics, so there's no like crazy stuff you have to do with like using the armature or adding like hair physics and all that kind of stuff. And if you want to add more stuff, such as like hats or tails, you can import it into 3D softwares like Blender or Maya or whatever you want. Booth.pm, the website I mentioned earlier for getting 3D models, also has a lot of great options for getting textures for your 3D models. So if you want your dress to be a different color, booth.pm is a great place to go. Another amazing thing about VRID Studio is that you have full commercial use of the 3D model that you make. And then once you have your 3D model, there are many ways of using it. These are the softwares that I will be talking about that you can use your 3D models in. So the first option I will be talking about is VDraw. VDraw doesn't track facial movement or anything like that, but it tracks audio and it tracks your keyboard, mouse, controller, and tablet. So there's no facial recognition. This is a $10 program, and it's great for anyone who doesn't have great lighting, doesn't have a webcam, or a computer can't handle a lot of like power or usage. And VDraw is a great way to show how you're interacting with your desktop. The next options I'll be talking about are 310A and Wakaru. These are both free programs on the Steam store that you can get right now. These both use facial tracking. So you must have a webcam for Wakaru and 310A. As you can see, it tracks your mouth, it tracks your eye movement, it can track your expressions, all that kind of stuff. And then 310A also has the option of using a Xbox Kinect and Elite Motion. So Elite Motion is like a little rectangle that uses infrared light to track your fingers and your hands. So you can have hand tracking and finger tracking. And the Xbox Kinect, if you've ever played Just Dance on the Xbox before, this is the little object or device that tracks your sick dance moves. And so it can also track full body. So in 310A Pro, you can have full body movement. Wakaru and 310A are great options for if you're on a budget, but they aren't the most high quality. The next options I will be talking about are Leaflit and VSeeFace. So Leaflit and VSeeFace both use webcam and both have the option for using Elite Motion. So as you can see, there's finger tracking, there's eye movement, there's facial expressions. You can also sync your audio to make your character's mouth move. So Leaflit is $50 and VSeeFace is free, but Leaflit also has a free trial that you can use. So as you can see, Leaflit and VSeeFace are great options, but they do only have upper body movement. There's no leg movement or full body or anything. The next options I'll be talking about are Suva and VR Chat. So these are both programs and software that use VR technology. So Suva, as you can see, stands for Stream Your Virtual Avatar, and it uses HTC Vive trackers and lighthouses to track your movement. So you'll have 2 HTC Vive trackers on your hands and 1 in your head, and then the lighthouses track those trackers. It also has compatibility with the Tobii Eye Tracker, which is an eye tracker, as the title says, that can track your eye movement. You can see on the on the left here, you can see Vei. She's blinking, she's moving her eyes, all that fun stuff. And so Suva, because you need VR software and hardware, comes to be a little bit costly, around $600. So the other option I mentioned is VR Chat. So VR Chat is a free social platform on the Steam store that you can play in desktop or you can play in VR. Desktop is a totally option that you can use, valid option that you can use. But VR Chat is great to be used in VR. So you can get a VR headset. It can be used with cheap headsets or expensive ones, such as the Oculus Go, or as much as the Index. And so so you don't need VR equipment to use VR Chat, but it monumentally increases the quality of your content if you do choose to use VR Chat. So VR headsets, they usually tend to be around $300 to upwards of $2,000. If you're going to get a VR headset, though, I personally recommend the Valve Index. It is probably the highest quality VR headset on the consumer market right now. The next options I'll be talking about are Live, or LIV, and virtual motion capture. So Live is a software that takes your virtual avatar, your 3D model, and imports it into any VR game you play, or almost any VR game that you play. So as you can see on the left, there's a VR avatar playing Beat Saber. Normally in Beat Saber, you wouldn't have an avatar. There are no avatars in Beat Saber. But with Live, you can import your avatar and play games as your anime girl, or whatever you want to be. So Live does require VR technology, at least a headset and controllers. And then there's virtual motion capture. Virtual motion capture is a software that also uses VR technology. It can capture your avatar, it can record animations, it can put your character in VR games like Live, and it can do more. So VTuber software such as Video, Scene Switcher, Unity, and Tobii Eye Tracker all work with virtual motion capture. The next option I will be talking about is Virtual Cast. So Virtual Cast is another free software on the Steam store. It uses VR tracking movement. Again, it's another VR software. You can use preloaded models, or you can use models that you've uploaded yourself. You can customize your environment. You can also connect it to your stream where you can interact with the messages, like they'll fall down from the sky and you can interact with them. And then you can invite others to join your room as well. The last option I'll be talking about, and by far the most expensive, is motion capture. So motion capture suits offer a full range of movement in your body, and it can additionally do detailed facial tracking. It is a great option if you have the money for it. There's not a ton of downsides. You can make animations, you can edit animations. In some cases, you can even walk around your house or even go outside with your motion capture suit on. And VTubers such as Kaguya Luna, Kizuna Ai, and myself use motion capture suits. So in conclusion, 3D models are pretty cool. There's not a ton of downsides to using one. Next, Buffpup will be talking about the amazing option of using 2D models.
Hey! Just slide right up here. Hey, how's it going, y'all? Welcome. I hope you're having a good time so far. Welcome on in. So I'm going to be talking about the 2D section of 2D VTubers. As you can see, little Leaf down here. You can't really see her, but her and I are the 2D little VTubers. Oh, there she is. We are 2D compared to over there on the right side to 3D, and I'm going to tell you why 2D is pretty heckin' cool. So we're going to talk about the art and rigging and etc., what kind of programs there are, how you can get into 2D and all that fun stuff. So as I click my button, the next slide will show up. Perfect. Look at that. Amazing. So if you can draw it, you can be it. The cool thing about being a VTuber, whether it's 2D or 3D, you can just be whatever the heck you want to be. And that's the fun part about the internet and just being here. The cool thing about 2D, though, is that if you can actually draw, you can actually put your model into the programs that we're going to be talking about later and be your own character. I actually drew myself. I had somebody else rig the program at the time, but I drew myself at the beginning of my streaming career, and I have loved it ever since. the reason why I picked the thing that I did was because I came up with the name Buffpup on my Twitch channel first. And then I was like, oh gosh, now I have to like make a character for it. Oh, I don't know what I'm going to do. And then I tried webcam for a little bit. Didn't like it. And then I made this character. And then here we are today. And I've been having a blast. You can go as simple and as complex as you want. I have a couple of examples here. As you can see, I'm a pretty simple character. I'm just like, I'm like an orange blob, you know what I mean? But then in the middle of this picture, you can see that there is a really complex dragon, beautiful lady here. And she has so many different outfits on her and pins and wings and beautiful hair. And then you got Leaf over here with their cute little animations and stuff. So you can go as complex or as simple as you want. And that's totally up to you. And I think that's the fun part about the 2D stuff is that if you want to go super complex or simple, it's up to you. I'm also going to click my button here to go to the next slide with my dog hands. There we go. Perfect. All right. So this is the program that I know most about, and this is probably the most interesting part, is this is the program where you make your live 2D, aka VTuber models. This program is called Live 2D Cubism. The price of this program is 100% free unless you decide to sell 2D models. Then you will be paying, I think it's about $9 a month, which gives you extra features and extra more keyframes. We're going to talk about that here in a second. And I totally think it's worth it if you are doing it as a job. But for a hobby, you can totally download the free version and you should be all good to go. There's a whole bunch of tutorials on Twitter and YouTube that you can find. I found actually Live 2D Cubism has its own tutorial that is like a very beginner kind of thing. Very helpful. It's how I started. And then I later down the line, I looked up tutorials on YouTube, and there's a lot. If you look up VTuber or Live 2D on Twitter, I can't tell you how many tutorials and awesome little sneak peeks there are on Twitter. So Twitter and YouTube, very good sources for Live 2D. I'm going to go ahead and explain what these pictures are so you have a little bit more of an understanding. At the bottom left, kind of where my head's at, you can see that I'm moving around the character in a 3D format. So when you look around your face like this is what we would call the X and Y parameters. And you can see that I'm moving around the keyframes to the character to make it do that. Now, with every model, there's going to be a whole list of keyframes, which you can see on the right side, where I have the random pose generator going, and it's kind of randomly picking out where these keyframes go and how the character moves and stuff. There's keyframes such as eyes closing and opening, keyframes such as expressions, and also head movements and body movements leading side to side. And you will learn all that if you look up tutorials and stuff. We also, there's a lot of communities and Discords. There's a whole Live 2D Discord. Very, very helpful. I suggest checking it out as well. The middle picture I have here is to show how complex you can get with it with practice and just kind of fiddling around with stuff. This horn looks amazing. It looks 3D. It's so cool looking. It has like a earring on it. It's just, I think it's so cool. But this horn is actually, it's not 3D, it's 2D, and it's actually 8 different parts put together. There's a front part and then 3 different back parts. The shine on the horn is actually its own separate layer as well. So is the earring. And that's what makes it 3D, is that you just manipulate 2D images to make them look 3D when they're actually not. And that's kind of the fun part about it. And I think it's really cool. And that's my quick synopsis of Live 2D. So here are the programs. These programs, there's not as many, I would say, as there were for 3D. 3D has a lot of programs, and I think 3D is a more commonly used for VTubing. But here are some programs. I have listed them from what I personally think is the best from top to down. So we're going to go through here and talk about these a little bit. So VTube Studio. Now, this is the one that if you know the company called HoloLive. This is the program that they use. VTube Studio is a really good program. It is free. To connect it to your PC, it is $20, but it's a flat fee, and that's it. And then you can use it as much as you want. I am currently using it right now, and it's super heckin' awesome, and I love it. The cool thing about VTube Studio is that it actually uses your phone camera, which a lot of these programs actually use webcam. So this is the only program that actually uses your phone. So if you don't have like a lot of space on your computer, you don't have a webcam, but you have a phone, this would be the program for you. And I honestly I really like it. It has good frame rate, as you can see. And the movement of the faces and character work really well. So I personally, this one's my favorite one. The next one I would consider the cheapest option. This is one's called PRPR Live. Is 100% free, and you can download it on Steam. And this one uses your webcam. Basically, it does the same thing, has a green screen behind you, and you can put in your character, and it does all the expressions and everything, but it is a Steam program. So the only thing I would suggest that if you're trying to run your character and a game at the same time, it might be a little tricky because, unless you have a 2 PC setup, which we'll talk about later here. Same thing with FaceRig. FaceRig is also another Steam program. Unfortunately, FaceRig will be turned into Animes, which is going to have a $5 to $10 subscription base. But right now, you can get it for $12, pretty cheap. I believe that's what Leaf uses, is FaceRig. It's a pretty good program. It's a program that I used before as well. It takes up it's kind of a CPU hog. If your computer is a little slow and you're like, I can't do it, I would suggest a PRPR Live, which has lower CPU usage compared to FaceRig. But FaceRig is a really good program. You should check it out as well. Now, Adobe Animator, I don't know much about this one, but Adobe Animator would be under the Adobe subscription base, which I'm pretty sure is $30 to $50. I'm not 100% sure. And it also does not use live 2D cubism. It uses its own software. So I'm not really sure much about what it entails and stuff. But the cool thing about Adobe Animator is that there's a lot of things that you can do, such as if you want a character and then you want a scene to drop in, or like, let's say, a star to fall on your face or something, you can do that via Animator. And I think it's really cool. It's a really cool, versatile program, but probably the most expensive one. Now I'm going to click the next button to go to the next slide. Oh, there we go. Perfect. Great. Oh my gosh, I'm so good at this. So why, you ask, why 2D and not 3D? It seems kind of silly. You look kind of flat, I would say. Well, I'm going to give you a whole bunch of reasons why I think 2D is a really good option for VTubing. So HoloLive is a huge example of why people prefer 2D over 3D, as it's closer to manga and anime. We all love manga and anime, don't we? We're all a bunch of weebs. I know it. I see it. I can see it in everybody. If y'all don't know what HoloLive is, this is basically the company I talked about earlier. It's a collective of a cartoon/anime idols who do a bunch of different talents and entertain at a large scale. They're mostly on YouTube. Of course, they're on Twitter as well. So if you want to interact with them and say hi to them, I'm sure they'll love it. But there are a whole bunch of idols, and they're super cool to watch. And if you want kind of like an insight about VTubing, perfect example of what VTubing is at a large scale. For 2D programs are not only aesthetically pleasing to the eye, but can also help with the streaming in the sense of how much CPU and GPU you use. This is what I was talking about earlier. Sometimes a lot of 2D programs don't take as much CPU and GPU usage as 3Ds do, because you have to upload a full model character, even if you're only using half of it, as to where 2D, I'm going to show you a little secret. If you're here on this panel, you get a secret. You ready for this? Oh my God, I don't have a bottom. Isn't that crazy? So it doesn't have to load as much. It's not as crazy to have a character on there, and it doesn't take up as much CPU. So you don't have to do a whole model, and it works out really well. And you would never know unless I showed you. Also, the cool thing is that when you have the 2D thing, you're also going to be running OBS and Streamlabs and all different kinds of things for your streaming software. So you don't want a whole bunch of things taking up your CPU. And 2D, these programs run at 60 frames with low CPU usage. So I would say if you're kind of in the 1 PC setting compared to a 2 PC, which a 2 PC setup is basically you have 1 computer for OBS and your VTube model and everything else, and then you have 1 computer for games and stuff. If you're running on 1 PC, I suggest 2D is a really good option. Another cool thing about 2D is that who doesn't like art? I mean, like I said earlier, if you can draw it, you can be it. If you want to be a little blob with a cute little face on it, you can draw it and you can be it. It's heckin' awesome. I also am a 2D illustrator as well. And I love cartoons. I grew up with Courage the Cowardly Dog, and I grew up with Full Metal Alchemist and a whole bunch of beautiful cartoons. And I think I personally am addicted to just looking at cartoons. I love them. So if you don't know how to also make a 2D model, yourself. You could actually draw out the model yourself and then hire somebody else to rig it for you. Isn't that amazing? There's actually a lot of people out there who can just rig the models for you. It's a really good viable option if you're like, hey, I want to use my style in my stream, but I don't feel as though that I know how to rig my own model. You can hire people for that, and it's heckin' awesome and totally fun. A lot of people who like anime, manga, and cartoons seem to prefer more of a cartoony style more than a three-dimensional style format. And that's personally what I like. And I think it's fun to bring a lot of things. The reason why I like 2D is because on my stream, I have probably like 4 or 5 scenes. There's one of me in the hot tub, and there's one at me at the dinner table. And the cool thing about it is that when you're 2D, you can kind of just draw a body over yourself and kind of goof around on your stream. And it's probably my favorite part. And then also, the last reason I think is that you get to hire cool artists. And I think this applies to 2D and 3D. If you can't do it yourself and you like an art style that you kind of admire and we're like, oh, I would love to see that on my stream. That would be so cool. And if it was animated, I would love it. The cool thing about doing 2D is that, like I said earlier, is that you can hire somebody to do the art and rigging too as well. It gives you an awesome chance to find a cool art style that you like and something that you love for your own stream. This goes with 3D as well. Always support artists. Just saying, support them artists. So these are the reasons why I think 2D is pretty cool. 3D is pretty cool, but I don't think it's as cool as 2D. I'm just saying. I see those cuties over there on the right corner. I'm just saying. But I think it's a really cool, viable option. And that's basically all I have to say about 2D. I'm going to bring it all over to BungoTaiga, and they're going to talk about setting up your own streams.
Hey, what's popping, guys? How's it going, everybody? Buffpup, that was great. Thank you so much. You're welcome. Hang on. Okay, how's it going, everybody? Welcome to my section of the panel. This is how to stream the basics with BungoTaiga. In my section of the panel, we're going to be going over how to set up OBS, creating scenes, capturing your model, and also setting up audio and video and more. So, without further ado, let's get started, shall we? So step 1, guys, and I'm going to throw you for a loop here. I need you to bear with me, okay? I know it sounds crazy, but you're going to need to download a broadcasting software, okay? Okay? There are many options for what broadcasting software you can download, but for the sake of this panel, and to keep things simple for not just myself, but for you guys as well, we're going to be talking about Streamlabs OBS, because personally, I think it's the best broadcasting software for beginners to use, at least, when they're just starting out and looking to stream. So there are other options. As you can see here, other OBSs are available. For example, the next most popular one is Stream Elements. And there's also the default OBS, as well as XSplit, which while I'm not familiar with, I felt worth mentioning. If we're looking at the statistics, though, Streamlabs is the greater service. It offers a tiny bit more. And Streamlabs has a greater margin in channels logged into it, and a greater margin in how many hours viewed streamers receive with Streamlabs as their streaming service. I bet you didn't know that. That's we're broken. It looks like. Anyway, there we go. Sorry about that. Functionally, however, they're all the same, mostly the same. The others take a bit more learning and setup to get going. But the best part, of course, is that they're all 100% free. So don't be afraid to try them out as you wish. Mix and match, try them out, see what you like. If you end up liking something more than Streamlabs, you're more than welcome to go with it. But as a beginner, I'd recommend Streamlabs. It's pretty easy. It's a pretty good service. And yeah, so step 2, connecting your Twitch. Now, I'm going to assume most of you guys are planning to stream on Twitch. However, if for whatever reason you plan on streaming to YouTube or Facebook Gaming, the process is pretty much still the same. Basically, you're going to head over to your creator dashboard. You're going to click the Preferences tab, and then you're going to select the channel button. And after doing that, at the top of the screen, there's going to be a little stream key at the top there. You're going to copy that. You're going to go over to the settings in Streamlabs OBS, okay? And you're just going to copy it in there. Also, you're going to want to make sure that your service is set to whatever service you want to stream to. So If you want to stream to YouTube, make sure it's set to YouTube. Find the YouTube stream key that's supplied when you click go live on YouTube and copy it in there. For example, if you're doing Twitch, I just showed you. If you're using Facebook Gaming, again, couldn't imagine why, but if you are, you're just going to have to find the stream key and copy it in there and select it as your service. So after that, that's about it. Actually, that's it. I hope I haven't lost you guys just yet. Step 3 though, audio. We're going to go over one more thing. We're just going to go over the audio really quickly. I'm sure this is extremely obvious for most of you, but I'm going to touch on it anyway. We're going to head back to settings and click on the first audio section. And basically, you just want to make sure that your mic auxiliary device 1 is set to the microphone you'd like to use. For example, I use a Blue Yeti, so that's what I have mine set to. You also have the option for microphone devices 2 and 3, but unless you have multiple microphones set up in the same room, there's no real reason to use that unless you're doing a podcast with another VTuber in the same room as you. But we're VTubers, we like anime, okay? We don't have that many friends, so we're not going to worry about that. Other than that, you should be okay to leave your desktop audio device as default, except if you plan on streaming from another computer and then playing on a different one, in which case you're going to have to set that up. But for the most part, if you're just starting out, you're probably not going to be streaming from multiple different computers, and you should be okay to leave it as default. If for whatever reason you find that the audio from your computer isn't being picked up by OBS, then try playing around with what you have set as your default input and output in the audio settings on your computer, so your desktop, not Streamlabs or not whatever broadcast system you're using. But that's it for that. Step 4, all right? This is the important part, all right? Pay attention, because this part's important, okay? Arguably the most important step to becoming a VTuber, some might say, is showing off your fancy character. And I'm going to show you how to do just that right now. We're going to start by creating a new game capture source by clicking the plus button next to the source in Streamlabs OBS. Now, another reason I like Streamlabs is specifically because I find the layout so much easier to navigate compared to the other broadcasting systems. There's a reason I've used it for all 6 months that I've been streaming. I think it's nice. It's just nicer to look at. So you're going to click the plus button, and you're going to go ahead and select the game capture that you see right there. You're going to hit done. There will be a done button. I've cropped it out. I'm sorry. It's movie magic. But after you do that, you're going to have the option to capture specific window. And it's at this point that you're going to want to capture either basically whatever software you're using, okay? If you're using VTube Studio, you're going to capture VTube Studio. If you're using, FaceRig, you're going to capture FaceRig. For me, I use a 3D model, right? I use a Vroid model specifically. So my options, without spending a ton of money, my options are VC Face or Leaflit, or at least those are the two that I like to use and that I have been using. For VC Face, it's as simple as just clicking the Allow Transparency button on the bottom there, and that'll automatically remove the background. That'll automatically remove the background on VC Face, and you're not going to have to worry about it anymore. That's all you have to do. You hit Allow Transparency, and you're done. You click Done, and you're good to go. However, as you can see, despite the Allow Transparency button being selected for Leaflit on the right there, right above my head, there's still a green background there. So you're going to have to work a little harder. So what you want to do is you're going to click Done. You're going to right-click, and you're going to click Filters, and it'll open up this brand new tab. Look at this. There's me, looking nice and smug. Spitting image, right? Anyway, you're gonna select the filter. Okay, you're gonna hit the plus button, select the filter, and you're gonna want to select chroma key, as you can see here. There it is, chroma key. And after that, you're gonna click the done button. Nice and easy. Now here's the important part. Okay, if your character has a lot of green. By default, the color key type that'll be cropped out will be green, most likely. And most systems, either Live 2D, FaceRig, basically anything Live 2D uses a chroma key type of cropping, right? It's gonna use a chroma key thing. So, and most of the time it's green, and most of the time, basically it's always going to be green. You can change the color. If you have a lot of green on your model, I'd recommend changing the color, because the second you chroma key it out, you're going to lose probably a lot of your model. For example, if I selected red or blue or black or white for my model, I'd probably be missing most of my face and body. So you want to make sure that whatever key that you're chroma keying out is not a color that's on your body. If you're if you're in a position where, let's say, for example, you've got rainbow colored hair, not uncommon with anime girls. A lot of anime girls tend to have rainbow colored hair. And if that's the case, you're going to probably want to opt in to VC face. Granted, that's only if you're using a 3D model. If you're using a 2D model and if you want to use a character that has a lot of colors and you're using a 2D model, there's really not a lot you can do. You want to make sure that it's a color. There is a color that you can crop out, because if there's not, specifically for live 2D type programs, at least from what I've heard from Buffpup and Leaflit, you're pretty much stuck to chroma keying out the background. There's no allow transparency options like there is with VC face. So you're going to have to you're a little more limited technically you're a little more limited in what kind of design you can do. But for the most part, as long as you make sure one color isn't present on your model, you should be okay. But yeah, that's pretty much the gist of it. After that, there's a little more you can do, at least with Streamlabs OBS, but that's not all. So if we go ahead, you can add backgrounds, okay? Follow sub alerts, sub and dono goals, fan art scrolls, chat boxes, alert boxes, all that good stuff. And you can do all of this by, once again, clicking the plus button. And basically, you're going to see the screen again, only instead of selecting game capture, maybe you'd want to select an image to use as a background. Maybe you're doing a just chatting screen. You want to be on the beach. You'd import a beach background. Now you're on the beach. Or in my case, I use a cute little log cabin as my background with a little fireplace. And mine is actually a video. So I import a video. And it'll be animated in the right corner. And actually, if we just go back, I just want to touch on one more thing. Sorry, Uxieu. Thank you. You're so lovely. You can also add alert boxes. And I think this is really important. And this is why I like Streamlabs so much. With the alert boxes, it's really easy to basically customize your stream the way you want to. Okay. You can make it so whenever someone follows, their name will pop up. You get a cute little musical. You can put your favorite anime opening or a clip of it to play whenever someone follows, and then put a cute little GIF or GIF if you're feeling fancy up on the screen whenever someone follows, and it adds a lot of personality to your stream. You could make it themed around something, and that'll tie into branding, which Leaflit will be talking about later. You can also add follower goals, sub goals. You can add a viewer count. Basically, it's all tied into Streamlabs OBS, and it's really easy to use. You don't have to do much. There's not much work that you have to do. Basically, all you have to do is just kind of select whatever you want. Like I said, there's sub and dono alerts, or sub and dono goals. Sorry, I keep 2 of them on my just chatting screen. I try not to put it on my gaming screen because it clutters things up. But as you can see here, you've got a big me above my head, ready to eat me up. To the left, there is a fan art scroll of a bratty little taiga with his hands on his hips. And to the left of that, there's a little fireplace. And usually it would be animated. In this case, it's just a cute little picture because I didn't know how to animate in PowerPoint. Sorry, I guess. Anyway, there's also a chat box right above the fireplace, and I'm not sure if you can read what's on there, but it doesn't really matter. I've got the sub and dono goals above that, and sub and dono goals are a great way to encourage chat to interact with you. Basically, the more things you have to look at, the better. Okay. And Streamlabs makes it really easy to make a really engaging stream for your audience. I've got tons of images all over the place. And of course, if you don't want to do just chatting, if you want to play games, it's as simple as adding another game capture and just capturing whatever game you want to play. It's really, really easy, very fun, very easy, very pog. And yeah, that's pretty much the gist of it. Like I said, other streaming services are available. And if you want to use those, you're going to have to mess around a little, experiment, see what works for you. But in general, I believe Streamlabs, if you're just starting out, is the best option. And that's it for me. We're gonna head on over to Leaflit now, and she's gonna tell us all about how great it is to grow as a VTuber.
Hello. How's it going, guys? I am Leaflit, and now that you have your stream set up, what is there to do with it? VTubing is for everyone, as we have said, and everyone has their own path. Some of us pick up VTubing as a hobby and are just glad to stream to whoever, while others might want this to be their profession. For this talk, I'm going to assume that you have an interest in growth and you're not just doing this as a hobby. So aspects of growth, we're going to be talking about marketing, content, networking, and a little bit on brand, which I think is kind of an underrated aspect. It's really important. So next we'll be talking about content. Let me just move over a slide. So for your content, you have your core content, which is going to be mostly on YouTube, Twitch, Facebook. There are other platforms as well, such as Trovo, and there was Mixer. Rip in peace. F in chat for Mixer. Anyway, your core content is going to be where your main content is, where you are interacting with your community. That's going to be your live stream. Twitch and YouTube, again, are the most popular ones. And next, we have your micro content. We're talking about Twitter, Instagram, Facebook as well. And there are other ones such as TikTok. I'm not so sure about TikTok, so I'm not going to go into that. So I recommend as a new VTuber, you're going to want to have you're going to want to choose one core content and one micro content. So if you're using Facebook for your core content, do not also use it for your micro content. You can repost, but you're going to want to have a different one. And your micro content is going to be ways that you can deliver bite-sized content to your viewers, something that maybe once or twice a day they can check in and see that you have some new content for them that's short, easily digestible. Next, I'm going to talk about marketing. All right, so marketing. How do you get more viewers? How do you get more eyes onto your content? A lot of companies, the way they do this is traditional marketing. They will pay for ads, that sort of thing, sponsorships, and they will pay for that sort of things. But that is not very effective for a content creator. And the reason why is because it affects your brand. If people see paid promotion by so and so, it kind of makes you look bad in this. That's just how the climate is for VTubing. So you're going to want to not do that. But you can use that money that you are going to use for traditional marketing towards, you have to be a little bit more creative with it. So first off, there's art. Art is really nice. Everyone loves art. You guys love art. I love to see art. And basically, you can use that money towards art. Get some really high quality art of your character. Post that up on Twitter. And if the art looks nice enough, you will have a lot of retweets. And every single retweet, every single like, that is more eyes onto your stream. And that's what you want. That's what you want from that. Another way that's becoming popular lately is music. People are having their own songs, doing covers. That kind of thing is also very, very good lately. There are a lot of VTubers who have gained a lot of popularity via that method. So if you are talented in that method, it's a really, really good way to go about it. Lastly, I'm going to talk about memes and micro content. So micro content is going to be influencer type stuff. I went to go eat out. I had this really, really good food. I took a picture of it, posted up on my Twitter, on my Instagram. And you can also cook your own food, take pictures of things that you created, things that you've experienced, and things that people will be interested in retweeting. That's stuff you want to have up there. Memes are really, really good for that because everybody loves comedy. So that's a really, really great way to market yourself to others. Okay, so I'm going to be talking lastly about the third aspect, which is networking. And this is one that you have to be kind of careful about. So I'm going to preface this with, if you want to have genuine interest in you and your content, you're going to have to bring genuine interest to other people. The first thing I want to talk about here is investment. That's what this says here. Let me just do a little VTuber peek for you so you can see. Investment. All right. Investment, you're going to want to invest in other communities. If you go to another community and you basically plug yourself without investing in that community as well, people are not really going to want anything to do with you. Be a part of a VTuber community. Be a part of other people's communities. Invest in them and they will take note of that and invest back into you. Rating is a good method in that. So on Twitch, there is a method called rating, which is you sending your viewers to another person. And it's kind of like the old school new person moves into the neighborhood and you brought them like some baked goods, some cookies, some brownies. It's a little bit like kind of old school. Back in my day, we brought people cookies, that sort of thing. So show up at other people's streams with your audience. And that's a really, really nice icebreaker because people will see, oh, wow, this person is sharing their community with me. And it immediately builds a positive relationship between you and the other streamer. However, you can't just raid somebody and ditch because that doesn't build the relationship. You're not interested in the raid visibility. What you're interested in is the relationship that you're building with another streamer. So hanging out, spending time to watch, interacting with the chat, those are all very, very important things with networking. And I see a lot of people, and I will tell you right now, there's a lot of people that they'll pop in, they'll raid someone, they'll pop in, won't say anything, they'll just ditch. And they'll just be like, there, I did it. I did my job. I rated them and their viewers saw me. And that's not a good look. You want to invest. Basically, how would you want other people to react when they rate you? You want to see them participating in it. And as such, you should also participate in other people. Again, genuine approach will bring genuine interest. And lastly, that goes to collabs. And collabs, a lot of people think is a very important aspect of networking. I actually think it is the least important aspect. Collaborating is when you're creating content with other content creators, other VTubers, and that comes naturally with the investment aspect, which I said. You become friends with other VTubers, and they will naturally invite you to do collabs with them. And again, that's not something you want to keep seeking. It's something that you kind of either want to create yourself or have brought into you. Again, invest in the community and they'll invest in you. Lastly, we'll be talking about brand. So brand is how people think about you. So for example, we'll use Buffpup. When I think of Buffpup, what do I immediately think of? I think of funny, comedy, high quality, and really, really nice art and transitions. So that's something you guys want to think about is what do people think about when they think of me? Logos are part of it. You can have a really nice logo and that immediately evokes feelings of your brand. Your emotes, which are going to be on Twitch and YouTube, those are part of your community and your brand. How your model looks is a very important part of your brand as well because it's what people see immediately when they tune into your stream. So if you can invest money into your brand, into your models, you're going to want to do that. Lastly is quality. You have a picture of setup over there. You're going to want to use any investment money that you have wisely into things that affect your brand. So monitors, not so much. People can't really see that, but things like a good microphone, non-laggy computer. Those are really, really important things that people don't think that your brand is mega bad. However, that doesn't mean that it is only a small part of it, your quality. You can have, you can have a lacking of quality and you can still make it based on your personality. Again, it's all of these factors put together. So it's really, really important. And lastly, I want to say, be very mindful of your public image. Everything that you say on your account, everything that you say on stream is a part of your public image. And I'm not saying like, don't talk about, don't have any hot takes. You can have hot takes, but do understand that those hot takes are going to be something that people are going to think about when they think of you. So only have those hot takes if that's something that you want to be a part of your brand. There are VTubers that do that. I'm not going to name any, but yes. All right. And final notes, I have some words of advice for new VTubers out there in conclusion, since I am the last person doing the panel. Work hard, but also work smart. Working hard, every VTuber has to work hard. The landscape is pretty crowded, so you're going to have to work extra hard. And but working smart is going to multiply that factor. Another thing I want you to think about is that the only thing that you can change is yourself. You can't change what people like. You can't change how people feel about you unless it's something that you can change about yourself. So work harder. Look inwardly. Don't think about other VTubers, and don't think about what they're doing right or wrong unless you are using that to think about yourself and how you can do it. Don't fall into the trap of blaming other people, blaming other things outside of yourself. You are the only one that can control yourself, and that is the main thing you have control over. So please think about that. And lastly, if you try to win over the love of everyone, you win over the love of no one. So understand your niche, understand your audience, your market, and make sure you hit that hard and you retain it. And that is my talk on growth. And I think we're going to be taking questions now, right, Uxieu?
Yeah, we're taking questions.
Awesome.
Woo!
That was great, Leaflit. Good job.
Thank you. I was really nervous.
I couldn't tell. How's it going, everybody in chat? I hope you guys are having a great night so far. We're going to be taking questions now. So if you have anything that you don't think we answered adequately enough or that we didn't touch on at all, feel free to drop it in chat and we'll try to answer accordingly. We'll wait a bit. I assume there's a bit of a
question time.
Questions.
You can also have questions like what it's like to be a VTuber. It doesn't have to be specifically about like what like software and hardware you're using. You can be like, what's it like being like a streamer in general, or like how do you
design? Yeah. Anything you guys want is all up to you.
What's poppin'?
What's poppin'?
Just streaming and eating food and
poppin' Buffpup
and using the fire hydrant and fun things.
Favorite type of boba?
Coffee boba.
Coffee.
It's the best one.
I like the tiger milk one. The one with the brown sugar. It's super good.
That's pretty good too.
Yeah.
Oh, how many of you recommend a Stream Deck?
Oh my gosh, I have 2 of them.
I don't have one, and I wish I did. I definitely like. I don't know. I'm sure it's great. I definitely recommend.
100% recommend.
They help a lot, lot with scene transitions. Quality wise, you can make really really fast scene transitions with it, and camera angles and stuff.
As someone who doesn't have one, I can't tell you how annoying it is to constantly have to tab out anytime you have to pull something up on your screen. Half the time it breaks whatever game you're playing, and the other half it just kind of delays everything. So yeah, I definitely recommend a Stream Deck if you can afford one.
Look at all the buttons I can press from my Stream Deck.
Are you doing this from your Stream Deck? I have mine. I have mine set to my keyboard. I can. I can barely read chat because of. So you guys are gonna have to. You guys.
Do you decide on what to play on stream?
Whatever is cheap and popular.
Cheap and popular, yeah. Like, I don't know, if there's a new game coming out, like for example, like Cyberpunk, you'd want to play that as early as possible, like either in the first like day, and like any new games that are popping, you definitely want to hop on as soon as you can. You don't want to be late to any like big new games like that, like Fall Guys. There's a dozen streamers who made their careers just by like getting on Fall Guys as early as they could. So yeah, any game that's like really popping. Otherwise, nostalgic games, I think, have a lot of like they pull a lot of people in. Like I know when I first started streaming Skyrim again for the first time, like even a decade later, it was still pulling tons of people in. People love nostalgic games. Do
you stream with your light on or off? Off.
My light source is actually I stream in the morning, so I just open up my windows and I'm like, perfect sunlight.
What about you, Leaflit?
I will say on that I do have a light set up, and it really really helps with.
Does it? Yeah, I don't know if you guys noticed. I spent the entirety of Buffpup's presentation trying to fix my model. I recommend streaming with the light, but me and Uxieu, we're kind of night owls. We stream with the lights off.
You can get cheap lights for like around $20, like LEDs that are really, really nice.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm sure it's worth it.
Here's a question. How long has everybody been VTubing for?
It's almost been a year for me. I started in December of last year.
Mhm.
I've been streaming for 2 years, but VTubing since.
I guess, do they mean
last
under
year.
this? Do they mean under this account? Or what? See what I mean? This is why you need lighting.
That's why you need good lighting.
This is why you need good
Pat,
lighting.
That's why you need good lighting.
What was the question? What are we talking about?
How long have you been VTubing?
Oh, I've been VTubing for 6 months, basically on the dot. I started April 27th. I kind of started as soon as the Rona hit, and I hopped on that hype train, and I've kind of rode it a little bit to success. I was really able to take advantage of it. Leaflit, you've been streaming probably the longest out of any of us, right?
If you count like proto VTubing, then probably like 10 years. Yeah.
Do you use a dual PC or single PC setup?
Oh, I use a dual PC.
Yeah, me and Buffpup.
Wow, I'm single.
I'm single as well. I'm like I'm as low budget as you can get.
But yeah, I always suggest a 2 PC setup because, like I was talking earlier, you're going to be running like your VTubing software and then OBS and then your alerts and your Stream Deck if you have one. And sometimes like that just like will lag your entire stream if you don't have like the correct computer setup. So having a 2 PC where you can run your VTubing stuff and streaming stuff and then the game on a different computer helps out. It's the smartest decision I've ever made.
Yeah.
It's so nice.
Yeah, I've got another computer I definitely need to set up for dual streaming, but I haven't gotten around to it. Is it worth thinking about certain aspects of growth, even if you never plan on going beyond pure hobbyist? Leaflit, what do you think?
Well, I mean, it depends what your goals are, right? Like, do you want to have lots of viewers? In which case, you should pay attention to marketing and those are all really, I mean, what I talked about really is if you want to grow, so that's something you have to think about. What are your priorities? Like some people, they don't care. They're just like, I just want to stream to my friends. And like, that's fine. That's an okay route to go about, right?
Yeah. And you got to consider why you're streaming, even if you're not even if you're not doing it for growth, for a career, you gotta also consider why you're streaming. Like, there's a dozen reasons people stream as a hobby. You know what I mean? Are you looking like I could do sports as a hobby, and maybe I'd want to be, I don't know, the best soccer player. I'd still want to grow to be the best, right? But it wouldn't matter as much why.
I think the best thing to think about, like in what you're talking about, is like, are you streaming like to have people to hang out with and be like, friends with people? Because then in which case, like maybe having 1,000 viewers is not for you because you won't be able to respond to chat as well. Right?
Exactly. Yeah.
So it depends on what you need to sit down and think about, like, what do you want out of this, and keep a focus of what that is that you want.
Yeah. To answer your question for sure though. It's like, what do you want out of it? It depends what you want to get out of it. If you're streaming it for a hobby, but you want to have 20 people, then I'd focus a little bit on growth.
I want to answer, as a 3D modeler, can I rig my own mode to work with any of the 3D VTuber softwares? Yes. So I'm a 3D modeler. I don't use VRoid. I've never used VRoid. I rig all my models in Blender and 3D model in Blender. What's it called? The format that you need though is called a VRM. So you need to find a software that can export in VRMs. I believe Blender cannot export, but Blender can import. Unity can export VRMs. So it's good if you have like an FBX, you can import it to Unity and then export it as a VRM. So you can really import any humanoid. You can import any humanoid model into these 3D softwares.
Here's a really good question. Is the community LGBT friendly? I'm non-binary and I'm worried people won't accept me. Absolutely. This is the gayest community I've ever.
Yeah, honestly, no, but it's true though. I mean, like everyone's super open, about anything. Like I'm a dog on the internet, and I just came in. I was like, "Hey, yo, what's up?" And then everyone's like, "That's cool."
Yeah,
everyone's pretty laid back. Very
accepting. I mean, obviously there are bad eggs like in any community, but in the VTuber community especially, they're like so far and they're really there's not a lot of them. The community is extremely accepting.
Put it this way, the type of people that are going to dislike you for that are not going to be the type of people you want to have as an audience anyway. So.
Exactly.
True.
And they're not the type of people who are going to watch VTubers, to be honest.
Thoughts on music-related VTubers? I love VTubers that make music. Like Kizuna Ai makes music. I listen to Kizuna Ai all the time.
I wish I could sing.
Yeah, if we're talking about VTubers singing and stuff and making their own content, I definitely respect them a lot. It takes a lot of hard work to do that stuff. And as much as I'd love to, I just don't have the time.
How do you sing?
How do you sing?
How do you sing?
Let's see. How about
who causes the most chaos? I assume out of us four.
That's definitely BungoTaiga.
That's definitely.
Yeah. I was looking at him.
I was gonna say Buffpup.
I was gonna say Buff. I was gonna say anyone other than myself.
I mean, true. I guess I am a little chaotic.
You're a little chaotic.
Buffpup is chaotic, but like on Buffpup's like own stuff. Like you're chaotic on other people's stuff.
I don't know what you mean. Next question. Uxieu, you had one. You had one planned out.
Did I?
Did you? You were talking.
So let's see. So could you do Pokemon Battle on VTuber software? You can in VR chat. You can definitely do like Pokemon battles in VR chat.
Oh yeah, and Yu-Gi-Oh.
Yeah, we should do that. We should do a big Yu-Gi-Oh tournament. That'll be fun.
I want to do that.
I put down the pot of greed.
Exodia. What does pot of greed do? Anyway.
It lets you draw 3 additional cards to your deck.
3? Okay.
Mm-hmm.
My deck has no bad cards.
My grandfather's deck has no bad cards. Except maybe Karibo.
Let's see. How much time do each of you invest? How much time do you invest in time-consuming, high-quality YouTube videos versus on-the-fly live Twitch streaming? Do you mean like watching?
I'd say that would fall under micro content for the most part. So not a lot. Like for example, I only upload like clips of me singing to my YouTube channel. However, I'm not saying like if you do like really high quality like VTube YouTube videos, I think there's definitely a market for that because I don't think there's a lot of it. But how much time do you need to invest in it? If like assuming you're streaming on YouTube. Or you're streaming on Twitch, like assuming you're streaming as your core content, you probably don't need to spend too much time making really high quality YouTube videos. You know, like cut down a VOD on Twitch, upload it to YouTube, and that's probably more than adequate in terms of like micro content. Leaflit, anything to add?
Just to chime in on that. So one thing you have to understand is that Twitch is actually not super great for discoverability. There's only like one real route of discoverability on Twitch, and that is networking. If you want like to be discovered, you're going to want to use other ways to bring people to your Twitch content. So making YouTube videos is a really, really good way about doing that, but you have to be consistent. Mm-hmm. That's a whole nother beast. Like I could go an hour on YouTube.
Yeah. So I guess the question is, can you consistently put out those high quality videos while keeping up and maintaining a good stream schedule on
The most
Twitch?
popular thing I see on YouTube, people like to look at things like fast. Like if you can have like clips or something and just like look at it and it's like funny. Okay, it's done. People really like that kind of content on YouTube.
Yeah. I think your best bet is probably to hire an editor. Just send them your VODs. Be like, hey, take this Among Us footage of me and my friends, cut it down, make it funny, add subtitles to make it readable from other people. But like, I would not spend time doing. I could not spend time doing that myself. That's definitely something you'd want to do.
A lot of
make
time.
Someone else do. Yeah, hire an editor for that kind of stuff. If you really want to do those high quality videos, hire an editor.
Yeah, one thing I was going to say is that you need to reinvest money. So in order to grow and to make money, you have to reinvest the money. So
you got to spend money to make money.
Exactly.
Right?
One big mistake I see a lot is that people get money and then they're just like, I'm just going to buy myself like something like a Tesla.
It's like, well, that's enough time to retire.
Save some of that money and eventually, hire an editor. That's a very powerful thing to have.
Are there early mistakes to avoid that would cost me later? Like physical money or like reputation?
Don't be controversial.
Don't be controversial.
Yeah,
don't comment on any drama you see on the timeline.
Not worth it.
No one cares about your opinion.
Unless that's your brand. Unless that's your brand.
Unless that's your brand.
Then,
but you better be really good at it because It'll
Also-
probably just make people not want to associate with you. So just be really careful about what you put on Twitter, especially
Yeah.
Twitter. Everyone
Yeah.
is awful on Twitter.
One thing I wanted to add as well, in terms of like your model, things that could cost you, make sure you don't take any shortcuts with your model. Don't be like, I'll make like just a little mistake here, or like I don't need to like finish this, so I'm just not gonna do it. Like make sure like you complete your model, or if you're making it yourself, is really what I'm talking about. Make sure you complete your model to the fullest, so you won't have any problems later. Because in the future, like taking shortcuts will cost you. Yeah,
less so with 3D, because 3D you can always kind of go back and edit, but with like 2D, if you're commissioning, especially if you're commissioning like a $3,000 model, if you give the okay and you're like years later, like actually this looks like garbage, just make sure what you're spending your money on is something you're going to use for a long time.
Do your research into prices. Do your research into the people that are doing your stuff, because it's going to be with you for a while.
Yeah, I definitely think, like, I started off with a Vroid model, and while I'm thankful for where it's gotten me, I definitely wish I took a little more time making sure I had a really good model so I didn't have to upgrade, because I'm already looking to upgrade now, and I've only been streaming for 6 months. So definitely, just make sure what you're buying is something you're going to use for a long time. Yeah. One question that I see, speaking of Twitch, where can we find all of our wonderful panel hosts over at twitch.tv?
Hey! So you can find all of us, we can just go by one, but mine is, if you go to twitch.tv/Uxieu, it's spelled Uxieu. That's my Twitch. Taiga.
I died. I think we all died. I think we're all frozen.
Do I have a pretty face?
You don't.
Oh, there we go.
There we go. I am on twitch.tv/BungoTaiga. That's BUNGO TAIGA. BungoTaiga.
BUNGO.
Yay.
BUNGO. NGO and Taiga. What's his name?
Mine is twitch.tv/Buffpup. Basically, what I am, I'm a buff pup, and that's BUFFPUP. Very easy.
It's a cute name, Buffpup. You're adorable. You're lovely. You're great.
I'm a Leaflit. Twitch Leaflit. LEAF like leaf, and then LIT like lit, because I'm lit.
Lit.
All right. More questions, I guess, right? I feel like we should have saved that one for last.
How did y'all think of your names?
Again.
Ooh, that's a really good question. Uxie, you go ahead. You go first.
I like the name Uxie, but that was taken, so I added another letter.
Okay. Great. Thanks so much, Uxie.
No problem.
Buffpup.
Oh, okay. So I actually work out. I know, surprise, big surprise. And I'm actually really short. I'm 5'3". So somebody one time called me a buff pup. They're like, "Oh, you're so cute. You're like a buff, like small, like you're just tiny pup." And then they were like, "Oh, so you're a buff pup." And I was like, "That's the cutest thing I've ever heard in my entire life." So then I made it my Twitch name, but I was actually using my webcam at the time for like 2 or 3 months or something. And then I didn't end up liking it. So then I made a character around the name, and here we are today.
Very cool. On top of being buff IRL, Buffpup is also a dog IRL.
True. I am a puppu in real life.
It's true.
It's a fairy name, Leaflit.
Leaflit?
That's it.
It's a. But where?
I was born with it. Okay.
You were born with it.
Maybe it's
me.
Man.
My name, I really like the character Taiga from Toradora. And Taiga also kind of sounds like tiger. And then, I don't know, okay, I'm going to throw you guys for a loop here. It's all connected, okay? It's one big conspiracy. I don't know if you guys know the anime Bungo Stray Dogs, okay? But in Bungo Stray Dogs, BUNGO, that's where I got Bungo from, basically. And the main character of Bungo Stray Dogs has the ability to turn into a tiger. And then tiger, like we stated earlier, sounds like Taiga. So that's the name BungoTaiga, because I already like the name, and I also like the anime.
I like the question. You have to be short to be a VTuber.
Yes.
True.
All right. Let's see.
Ooh, should custom emotes be memey or traditional/professional? And do they make a heavy impact on viewership?
I definitely think that having good emotes will definitely have people come in. I can't
Yeah.
tell you how many times
I
like
guess
I drew my own emotes, so a lot of people will be like, "Oh my god, who drew your emotes? I just saw someone use it in a different channel and I want to know." And I'm just like, I did it myself. And I've had so many people come in just because of emotes, and I think having
yeah.
good emotes are really good promotion.
I guess what would be considered a traditional or professional emote? Like a custom pog emote?
Yeah.
Because to me, that would almost be more meme in a way. I'd say go for both, go for like the iconic emotes. Go make a pog emote. If you have any memes, or like things associated with your channel, like for example, there's like I have a Bungo T stare emote.
It's like
and that's often used a lot to stare at people or things. So we, and that's kind of a meme with my channel. So I made that an emote because it's just something they do a lot.
Also, if you're wondering like what emote to like, if you're just starting out and you're like, what emote should I get first? Oh, I always suggest getting a heart emote because whenever somebody subs or follows, you can always just throw that heart emote in there, and it's a really good first emote.
Yeah, I kind of forget what it's like not having just 5 emote. I'm so used to having a lot, but if you're going for your first, like you got to go for a first. I'd say Pog, a heart. Those are the 2 go-tos. These are all good emotes. I'd say Pog and heart though are like the 2 go-to. Everyone needs a Pog emote, and everyone needs I don't know if you need a heart emote, but everyone needs a Pog emote. Definitely a Pog
emote. What's a good way to figure out a streaming schedule when you're just starting?
Boy.
When I first started streaming, I just streamed whenever I wanted to. But if you're trying to grow, picking a specific time during the day to stream will keep those people coming back, So if you mainly stream at night, people who will mainly watch at night will come and watch your stream. But if you suddenly change to morning, you probably won't get as many viewers because your viewers are used to streaming at night. So getting a stream schedule that is consistent is very important and very good for growth. But yeah, in the beginning, I don't know, just stream whatever you want. That's what I did.
I think it ties into are you doing it for a hobby, or you want to do it? If you're doing it for career, I think you need to be a lot more consistent. If you're just doing it for a hobby, if you're doing it for a hobby, stream whenever you want. But if you're doing it for a career, I'd say go as hard as you can, like every single day if you can, like whatever you can manage as consistently as possible. Yeah.
Yeah, I stream in the morning because I've been working from home for like 10 years because I'm a freelance illustrator, and I was just used to getting up in the morning and just like doing work. So I was just like, if I stream in the morning, I will treat it like a job. And then it just kind of stuck that way. So
I was going to say,
I don't have a schedule.
Make sure you're, with your schedule in mind, make sure you're keeping time aside for networking and making other content, because if you just stream yourself to death, you're not going to get any growth.
It's true. Yeah, honestly, it can't be overstated how important Twitter is for growth. There are so many VTubers who have basically gotten 100K overnight just from networking on Twitter. And it really does go the extra mile if you want to go that hard. True.
What other questions were there? Can I rig my own models outside of VRoid to work with any of the 3D VTuber softwares? Wait, if you mean taking just the mesh and then taking the armature out? Yes, if that's what you mean by rig. But yeah, if you're talking about using models outside of VRoid, you can also do that. You don't need to use VRoid. It's just a very good option for people who don't know how to 3D model.
Oh, I'm dead. Hang on.
That's a good question. Glasses and face tracking don't mix. Any workarounds? I actually wear glasses. I actually find a couple of weird tricks that I can do with my glasses. So if I lean my head back, I can do a smug face with my glasses. But I suggest just having good lighting. And also if you can make it not reflect off your glasses, it's super helpful. So maybe putting your glasses a little down your nose a little bit. But
also wouldn't worry about it too much. I think there are a dozen streamers I know who have glasses, and honestly, when the tracking scuffs up, it's kind of It adds character. It's kind of cute. Like it's just kind of cute.
Yeah,
like,
my eyes like go like this sometimes. Like they like kind of like blink all over the place.
Yeah, I love that. It adds so much character. So I wouldn't worry about it too much. I'd say go for it. If it like literally breaks your tracking, maybe worry about it then. Maybe. But like if you're just making cute faces like Buffpup over here, I think you've got it. That you're set. You're set. You've got. What more could you ask? No, it's cute.
But then also the programs aren't too bad with tracking your face movements with glasses, especially if you use VTube Studio, which actually uses your iPhone. Apple paid a lot of money for that phone tracking camera for face recognition. So if you have glasses and you're using VTube Studio, it has no problem seeing your glasses.
That's true. That's true.
See, I think this is a good one. Where was I? Any recommendations on programs for those that want to use VTubing for making news broadcasts, response videos, compilations, and list videos, etc.? I don't know. You could use VR chat. I think VR chat is a good place, like, because you can make your own world in VR chat, right? Or you can commission someone, or you can find a world. So if you wanted to go to like a news world, you can make one or find one, and that would be really cool. But really, any of the programs can be used for making whatever content you want.
Yeah.
With a virtual avatar. It's just VR chat might be a good one. And also virtual cast may be a good one as well, because those both have customizable environments.
And also virtual motion capture, where you can actually just overlay your character over anything else. So if you're watching like a YouTube video, you can just slap your character right on top, and then it works really well.
Yeah.
Yeah. When you close your eyes in real life, does your character also close their eyes? Yes.
Yes. My eyes are closed.
Every blink, it's the real thing, baby. All right, we're authentic here. At the
I'm a real dog.
Okay. We are real dogs. We're all dogs.
Slime.
I am a real snow angel, and Uxieu is a genuine rat. Look at her. Disgusting. Anyway.
What?
I'm just kidding, Uxieu.
I told you, this angel.
Anytime, Uxieu. I think we have 4 more minutes, so we probably have time for one more question.
Yeah.
A big question. Make it a good one.
Does anybody have a really big question?
Big question.
Fat question.
Several people are typing.
I'm a computer.
5-minute warning.
Also, if you guys wanna catch us on stream sometime, we play together all the time.
Yeah, we play games together.
We're really
buddies.
good friends.
We're buddies. We're friends.
I swear, we're really good friends. We have a really great dynamic.
Mm-hmm. Over here, Leaf and I are like cuddling, and you're all like,
We pretend to hate each other, but we don't.
Nene. Rib and Nene.
What's the meaning of life?
I don't know if I can answer that for you.
The meaning of life is cute anime girls.
I think Jamie's question is could be a good last question. How do you manage effective boundaries with your audience? Good mods. And make sure your mods understand what you want as well.
Yeah.
I see you, Xenomorph Queen. What's up? And Gilk.
Yeah, I'm definitely a little more liberal with what my chat can get away with compared to other streamers' chats, for like Uxieu, for example. You just gotta make it clear to your mods and let them do all the work. I don't know. I barely have to do anything.
Yeah.
I'm just the talent.
Good mods are key, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And also, I feel like a lot of people when you're streaming, they can tell if you have a disgust for something. Because normally if someone says something in my chat, I'm like, ew, don't say that. I'll say, and they'll be like, oh, okay. So I think after a while, it'll kind of just play out.
Yeah.
Later on.
Yeah. Good question.
What are your feelings on paying mods? I think you should pay your mods. If you have the money to do so.
I think you should pay your mods, but I can't afford to, so sucks to be you, Gilk. If you can afford to, do it. If not, though, make it clear that, listen, I can't pay you. You're doing this for clout and nothing else.
Well, I also have a couple friends modding too. So if you have a couple friends that are like, yeah, I'll come in and mod. The mod doesn't need to be there all the time. If you're pretty attached to your chat, like a lot of us are, you can pretty much mod it yourself.
Yeah. I want to say that's pretty much it. I feel like we'll get cut off if we try to answer the question.
Yeah. So let's say what? Leaflit? Sorry.
Oil?
Oil.
All right. We have 1 minute left. So let's wrap up. Let's plug our Twitches. So again, mine is twitch.tv/Uxieu. It's spelled Uxieu. Taiga.
I'm BungoTaiga. That's BungoTaiga. Taiga. It's BungoTaiga.
Buffpup.
I'm twitch.tv/Buffpup, BUFFPUP.
Leaflit on Twitch and Leaflit on YouTube. That's Leaf and then LIT. And just add a VT, Leaflit VT for Twitter. But one last thing I want to say is that on the mods thing, make sure you thank your mods and make sure that they know that they're appreciated. It's really important.
Love your mods.
I love you, mods.
I love you, mods. I love you, chat.
I love you guys.
You're right.
I love you.
Jill. Do better. No, thank you guys for coming. I hope it was informative.
Thank you so much. I really
Thanks for
appreciate you guys
having
being here.
Mwah.
Bye. Goodbye, everybody.
Bye.
Bye.
Sayonara.